Good morning, beloved. Peace be with you. Usually we go over the first readings, but the gospel is so rich and provides some good opportunity for further teaching on healing. So we want to just dive in there and keep expounding some more. It's very important to understand correct teaching and biblical teaching on healing, because this is what Jesus did. This was how he demonstrated the kingdom of heaven on earth. This was his mission, no other mission. And this is the mission he hands to us. And so we must understand this and begin to get out of our comfort zones and practice this, or we are not true disciples of Jesus. We're not true believers. You know, Jesus makes that very clear to us at the end of the Gospel of Mark, when he's talking to over 500 people of the crowd. There are all kinds. They're apostles, they're disciples, they're people who say they believe. And he says to them, go and make disciples, and these will be the signs of those who believe. And one of the signs is they will lay hands on the sick, and they will recover. You can't deny that unless you think the Bible is false, unless you're saying the words of Scripture are lying to you. This is one of the core commands in the Great Commission of Jesus Christ to all believers. And so you have to accept that and begin to change your life and revolve your life around that if you want to call yourself a believer. So we have to understand and keep diving into and studying healing in the Scriptures, in the life of Jesus, in the life of the church, and growing in it ourselves in practice. So there's very powerful things here for just teaching on healing. A couple points we want to definitely bring out. The first is that this centurion, so a centurion is a man in the Roman army. He is a captain, you could say, over a number of soldiers. How many soldiers is he typically over? 100, right? Tells us right by the name. How many years are in a century? 100. He's a centurion. He's got typically 100 soldiers under him, right? Okay. So now here he sends, he's obviously friends with the elders of the Jews and helping the Jews. He's obviously a God seeker, a believer. He's got a good relationship with the Jews, helping them to build a synagogue where they can gather to worship and to pray and to have the Scriptures read. The elders go to Jesus and they say to him, he deserves to have you do this for him. He deserves to have you heal his slave. Now that's a good point right there to bring off. God does not heal us because we deserve it. You know, and we want to emphasize that because we can tend to think that way, like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy that God would heal me, or if I have to change my life and start acting better, or stop sinning, and then he will heal me. I have to deserve somehow, I have to be more worthy, and then he'll heal me. Or God won't heal me because I'm a sinner, God won't heal me because I'm not worthy, God won't heal me because I don't deserve it, because I'm not acting right, I haven't been listening, I've been disobeying, I've been a jerk, whatever. No, God does not heal because we deserve it. God heals because we need it. God heals because he loves us. And so our faith in God's healing power and presence in our life has to rest on his unchangeable, steadfast love for us, not on our volatile, deserving worthiness or undeservingness. So that's the first truth. And you know, watch yourself. You'll see your mind goes there sometimes. That doubt comes in sometimes when it comes to healing. Oh, God couldn't heal. He heals, yeah, but he doesn't want to heal me. Sometimes we'll think, because I'm not deserving of it in some way. God does not heal because we deserve it. He heals because he loves us. He made us to be healed and to live in health. You know, we know that's a foundational truth because our bodies naturally heal themselves. And although God works with doctors and nurses and medicine to bring about healing in the body, doctors, if they're honest, they'll tell you they can't heal anything. Medicine actually cannot heal you. What they do is the doctors and the nurses, they try to work with medicine or work with the body and get the body back to a balanced state so that it heals itself. Right? Because what do they always tell you? Do this, do that, and get a lot of rest, so the body will heal itself. The doctors can't actually heal you or do anything. They can only give different medications or things to get the body back balanced so it will begin to heal itself. God made us to naturally be healthy. And so that proves and tells us that God wants all of us healthy. He wants all of us healed. It's not God's will that anybody should walk around being sick. These are foundational truths from the Bible. And we see them enfleshed in our life. We keep going down. When he was a short distance from the house, the man sends out slaves to stop Jesus from coming in. This should be very familiar to us. Lord, I'm not worthy to have you enter under my roof, but only say the word and I shall be healed. Right? We say that every time we receive the Eucharist. What's the church trying to do here? Get us speaking acts of faith in healing. Faith for healing. God's healing presence in the Eucharist. And so the church is teaching us to speak these words of faith. Why? Because Jesus says here, this is the greatest statement of faith he's ever heard on earth. Not even in all of Israel has anyone expressed such great faith. And so what's our church trying to teach us? To have this great faith that pleased Jesus more than any other statement of faith, and to speak that consciously with expectant faith in God's healing power. When we say these words before the Eucharist, we should also be recalling the power, the healing power of Jesus. Right after these words, Jesus heals the slave. Right after we speak those words, and we're going to go forward and receive the Eucharist, we should expect healing in our life if we need healing in any way. We should have expectant faith for healing by speaking these words of the centurion. If we really believe the Eucharist is the presence of Jesus Christ par excellence, we should believe that simply by touching the Eucharist, we can be healed of anything. What about the woman who was bleeding for 12 years, and she thought on her own, Jesus never taught it before or after this experience. The apostles never taught it, but she recognized if I just touch the hem of his garment, I can be healed. And she did it. And people watched and saw that and heard the testimony, and then after that in the Gospels it says, everyone was trying to get close to him and touch him. And it says, as many as touched him, they were healed. Do you and I have that expectant faith for healing in the presence of Jesus that is truly par excellence here with us in the Eucharist? This is what the church is trying to teach us when it brings and has us say these words. Lord, I'm not worthy that you should enter my roof, but only say the word, and my soul shall be healed. So we got to practice that, consciously thinking and expecting and saying, Jesus, I believe. Sometimes you just have to speak it out loud before your life begins to reflect it. Jesus, I believe if I just touch you, that when I touch you and receive you in the Eucharist, your healing presence is there. The presence of Jesus is the presence of Jesus. You can't get the presence of Jesus without his healing. It's a healing presence of Jesus. I believe that when I receive the Eucharist, when I just touch your body, I can be healed. You can heal me, whatever I need healing for. And you go forward receiving the Eucharist, expecting healing for whatever you need healing for. And this, now what makes his expectant faith for healing so powerful is he understands authority. And he lives it. And this is probably where a lot of us get stuck. Because we tend as Americans to resist authority. That's how America was born, right? And so there's something in that of resisting authority that we have to get rid of when it comes to God and his church. He says, just say the word and let my servant be healed. I understand that's possible, Jesus, because I too am a person subject to authority, and soldiers are subject to me. So this is the key to expectant faith for healing. Understanding authority both in these two ways. First, he says, I am a person subject to authority. Who are you subject to? What authority are you subject to? Don't say, oh God, I subject myself to God, because there's nobody who can check you on that, can they? Well, God told me. Now guess what? We sound like Protestants. Oh, don't make me go here, huh? Cafeteria Catholics are just Protestants. Anytime we have that thought, well, God told me, well, I think this, well, God this, I'm subject to God and I obey God and all things. You? No. Who is the human authority that carries God's authority that you subject yourself to, submit yourself to, place yourself under, act like you're a slave to, that you will obey no matter what they say? Obviously, we don't subject ourselves to authority that speaks and tells us to go against the church, to do something immoral, to do something heretical. But usually those are actually pretty rare cases. Usually what we're resisting is because I don't like it. I don't agree with it. It's uncomfortable for me. I haven't heard that before. But it's not actually something that goes against church teaching or that's actually immoral. Who are you subject to? Who do you submit yourself under? Or do you just pick and choose to follow who you agree with? Now you're just Protestant. If Jesus did not want us to subject ourselves under authority, he would not have had a church with authority and a hierarchy. He would not have established apostles. He would not have established the 12. He would not have established priests. But he did. Who do you subject yourself under? And who is subject to you? This is important. I think we can simply apply one of the words of St. James in his letter when he tells us in this way. Don't fool yourself. Don't act like you love God who you don't see if you're not loving your neighbor who you do see. So don't act like you and I should not be acting like we're subjecting ourselves to the authority of God whom we do not see, who is invisible, if we're not subjecting ourselves to the authority that is visible in life. Don't fool ourselves. It's only entering into this living authority where I am truly subject to somebody that I can understand in a living way the authority that Jesus carries for healing. And that, in fact, he gives us permission to work with at that great commissioning. So if you want to understand God's power, God's authority, God's love, especially for healing in a greater way, you have to understand and begin to live authority. And who do you place yourself under? And check yourself. Make sure you're not fooling yourself. Very important. There's a lot more to say, but this is only a daily mass, so this is all we get. Father, we thank you so much that you love us and that your desire is to heal us, whether we deserve it or not. Help us to learn how to live under authority. Help us to learn to exercise the authority of Jesus Christ that is within us, especially for healing. And most especially, help us to have this same expectant faith for healing that the centurion had when he said those words, Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. Just say the word, and I shall be healed. That we have that expectant faith, and the expectant faith for healing that the woman had when she bled for 12 years and just touched the hem of Jesus' cloak. That every time we touch the Eucharist, we shall be healed. Father, we pray this in the name of Jesus, your Son. Amen. Let us stand together and offer